Welcome to today's edition of our cybersecurity mentoring group, where we'll share, we'll learn, and we connect. And thank you for joining. Today is a special day, like every other day. And before we go on to the activities of today, I've been announcing about our cybersecurity skills, competencies, and certifications. We have successfully completed the collation of jobs. I think we have over 2,000 jobs that are now being analyzed. Hopefully by November, we should be able to have a publication. So we had a publication last year, which was jobs between January and August 2023, and we looked at the skills, the competencies, and the certifications, top jobs, top certifications, and what really employers are looking for. And if you need a copy, if you are also on our LinkedIn group, you can get a copy of the publication there. We also asked for cyber security researcher. Cybersecurity researchers are people that we would like to call on to help us carry out some research. I will be calling on the group maybe in about 2 weeks' time for a research that I want to do, which would involve us helping people who are new to the field to know the exact courses or certifications or maybe some self-study that they should follow. And so I'll be calling soon on people that are interested in helping doing that job. The last is cyber scribes. Cyber scribes are individuals that would like to leverage their ability to listen, to be able to document some of the conversations we have here so that we can include it in our post on socials. So if you are on YouTube or if you're on LinkedIn, you have a page on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. You can see the link, visit. So we've had about 10 or so, maybe 11, maybe this is 11th one, I can't remember, but we have quite a number of videos that you can look at for your benefit. Today, we are having 5 people speaking to us about their journey into cyber, the bold steps they took, their motivations, and what exactly they found interesting in cybersecurity. So we have Solomon, we have Temitope, Dave, Dami, and Nabilat, and they each will be telling us their story, exactly what attracted them to the field. We believe that listening to people who made that switch or who are starting that journey helps you to know how to navigate that path. You know, it's good for us to invite people who are senior. If, for instance, we bring in someone who has spent 15 years in cybersecurity, sometimes it can make you ask when will I get to this stage? But when you find people who are starting the journey and the giant strides they are making, when you find people who probably have spent 2 or 3 years and the effort that they are making to get better, that can be encouraging. And that's why we want to give voice to people in our community. So everyone here belongs to the Cybersecurity Mentoring Group community. And we believe that, yes, we should bring experts, but also we should listen to our stories because the community needs to grow and needs to be organic in our growth. And so we have 5 important speakers. We'll listen to Solomon, we'll listen to Temitope, Dave, Dami, and Abela tell their stories, the boasters, and you will be able to pick some things that you can then go after as an anchor for your next journey into or progress in cybersecurity. So I'll be starting with Solomon. And Solomon, good evening, welcome. Thank you for joining us and for volunteering, because we actually asked for people to volunteer to be to share their story, and thank everyone for volunteering. So Solomon, we just want to hear your introduction and your journey into cyber. Can you just tell us a bit about that venture? You have the mic. Okay, I think you are muted. I think you are muted. I can't hear you. I don't know if others can hear, but I can't. Okay, I can hear a sound now. Can you speak?
All right, good evening once again. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Sorry about that. Good evening. My name is Solomon Achugo, and my journey into cybersecurity started some years back, but officially it started like 2 years ago. Right? So I started off as one of the lucky students to be admitted into the cybersecurity department of Federal University of Technology, FUTSMINA. But it wasn't always as rosy as it sounded, because like in most schools in Nigeria, where after most of the work being taught there is theoretical, so it's not more practical that you are getting to put your hands on. But one thing one thing I did for myself in my journey through cybersecurity was I always had that passion for it. Before going into the uni, I never knew anything about cybersecurity. I just knew computer science, and I was really intrigued by how computers worked. So I always wanted to see, okay, why was this application being this way? Or why is this website able to carry out this functionality? But cybersecurity was a different kettle of fish entirely. But one thing that I did my journey is I was just passionate about it and wanted to know more, wanted to learn more, wanted to like explore the field. So after I was done with, I got my hands some with some work doing a bit of programming, doing website programming, but that was not really where my passion lied. I really wanted to do cybersecurity and get behind systems, know how the security was with those systems. So one very good way I started was through internship. And how did I get this internship? It was online. I I was not going to any physical place to do those internship. I did them online. I had to register online through LinkedIn and some through Twitter, got some through Facebook. But I was always at one internship, doing another internship. And from there, I was building up my skills, gaining knowledge, and also at the same time, trying out new things, discovering the field that I wanted to go into in cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is a broad field and we have so many uh, so many different branches in cybersecurity. Hopefully, as we get on, we'll get to talk about that. But getting into the particular field I wanted was through the internship I was able to do. And while I was at those internships, I also was doing certifications, because at some point when you are done with those your internship, there's going to be a need for a validation. Yes, you might say you're a graduate of computer science, but where's the proof? What do you have to show for those? And that's where certification comes into play. And so while I was doing those internships, at the same time, I was getting those certifications and also getting knowledge, because one thing is education, one thing is the learning, and another thing is getting those skills. And uh, basically, that's just how the journey has been: certifications, internship, and currently to where I am. So currently, I work
We'll
with a
get into
financial.
we'll get into that. Thank you for
Thank you.
that. Thank you for the intro. And I think I love the idea that you did not, because you have a bachelor in cybersecurity, but you did not wait at that, and that's quite that's good, because a bachelor is good, but as you also attested, that you didn't have the opportunity that you thought you would have with cybersecurity, more like a theoretical instruction. But through the internship, you're able to get quite a number of experience. I will go to our next speaker, and Temitope. Temitope, can we meet you and tell us your journey into cyber? Hello, Temitope. If you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting. Thank you for this program. Thank you so much. My name is Temitope Gbadamosi. I am a pharmacist, now cybersecurity governance, risk and compliance professional. I had my undergraduate education at the University of Ibadan, where I studied pharmacy. So my journey into cybersecurity, it's quite long, but I'll start from this. So while I was waiting to get admission into the university, my mom enrolled me for a computer training program. And that was when my passion, that sparked the passion for tech. But I eventually started my journey studying nursing. But while I was studying nursing, I realized that it wasn't for me because I fainted twice on ward rounds. So I called my mom. I'm like, I don't want to do nursing. I don't think I can do it. And she was like, village people, this, that. So I said, okay. But eventually, I got kicked out of nursing school. And the following year, I applied to the University of Ibadan to study pharmacy. And I got in. So when I finished pharmacy school, during my NYSC, there was a lady that was constantly pitching this tech school. I was like, what does leave me? I don't even want to. I'm not thinking of switching careers, after that episode with nursing school and all that. So I was just like, no. Just let me, I'm just going to do my NYC, pursue my PhD, and that's it. So after that, I got a job and I started working in a community pharmacy as a pharmacist. But I got to a point I was really frustrated at my job. I was like, oh my God, there was something more. So that passion for tech was always there, but the fear to switch careers again, it was also there. I didn't want to have to call my mom again and sound like, do you even know what you're doing? But I called my brother. My brother is a DevOps engineer, and I told him, I think I would like to get into tech, but I'm scared and this. And it was like, if you want to get into tech, no problem. I can teach you to become a DevOps engineer. Go and read about DevOps. Come back if you're interested, let me know. So I went to read about DevOps. I didn't even know if I was interested or not, but it was just an opportunity. So I took it and he started to train me to become a DevOps engineer. And so when we got to the cloud computing part, I was really fascinated by the idea of the cloud. I was like, this cloud, it was just a brilliant idea to me. So I took it further. I enrolled in another boot camp to learn cloud computing further. And it was in the course of doing that training that I saw the application for Cyber Girls, one of the largest cybersecurity programs for women in Africa. So I saw it and I was just reading because I didn't even know what cybersecurity was. I was just reading through it and I saw cloud security. I'm like, this is cloud security. I have cloud knowledge now. So I'm like, okay, this is a way to upskill. So I applied for the program and luckily I got in. And when it was time for us to choose, because we had to go through a prerequisite part where we learned everything, then there was a time to choose a specialized part, for us to focus on. And I was torn between choosing cloud security and GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. I was like, oh my God, with all my cloud knowledge just go like that. Because I really liked GRC because, it's at the intersection of business and security. And for me, I've always been a business person. I've handled some very successful business in the past. So I'm like, I like GRC a lot because it's not just security alone. There's that component of business in it. And I'm like, oh, this is what I really want to do. And I discussed with a friend. I'm like, I'm so scared to choose GRC because we all my cloud security knowledge just go away like that. My cloud knowledge rather. And she was like, you will still be able to use it. So I eventually chose GRC and it's been an interesting journey. I really love it. I'm happy because I eventually chose what I liked. I mean, it was accidentally, but it turned out to be what I really wanted to do. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for sharing. I think my paths crossed with Temitope Summer, and she told me she's a pharmacist and she's getting to cyber. And I was like, wow, this is a big This is a bold step. Let me go to my next speaker. My next speaker is Dave, right? Dave, can we meet you? And then can you tell us your journey into cyber?
Yeah, hello everyone. Can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible. Yes, you
All
are
right,
audible. Yeah.
all right. So okay, so Dave, Dave is my name. Dave Aniko should have my name, and excuse me, I, I say that I'm just that young person who at the initial stage of his life fell in love into computer. I just loved computer, and it can be like a cliche, but that is actually the truth. It is the truth because my primary school, which I was privileged to attend a private school, so I was given the best position, or yeah, I was given the certificate. Yeah, so the certificate, yeah, and I was also given a gift for being the best student in computer. I remember then when we went to the computer lab and we were asked to type our names, right? So I typed my name, Dave Olamide poetry. It was surreal. It was I don't know, but I think it was a connection. That was just it. I just loved how computers worked. And of course my parents invested in computer, invested in a lot of things. I just knew how to work on a computer. Nobody taught me. It just came. And interestingly, of course, when I was going to study in the university, I studied information technology. And even before then, okay, in the period while I was doing my program, I enrolled in CCNA. I had a training, but at some point, I say life happened, and there was a destabilization, right? So that was the word. So I drifted away and just began to do some other things outside of what I really loved, right? So, but as I got married and I continued in the marital journey, my wife kept on pressing it in my ears. You're more than this. You're more than this. You're more than this. So for me, yeah, it started as a child. It was supported by my parents. I lost it at some point, but what I say, I had the best partner in my life. So she kept on putting it to me. You're more than this. You're more than this. And okay, I'm more than this. What can I do? What can I do? And I drifted, yes, and I began to ask myself, what can I do? What can I do? And I just remember that I love computers. I love networking. I love how computers should communicate. I began to think, and that was how it was. I took it up and I just started cybersecurity. I think I went on the internet and now that week or probably that month, I was on Twitter and I don't really use Twitter. So I just came up on Twitter. I don't know. And I just stumbled on Dr. Iriti's tweets. And I don't know what I did. I don't think I really engaged her. And somehow she followed me, and that was it. So somehow it was there as a child. I lost it. My partner kicked it up one way or the other, and Providence made me connect with Dr. Iriti, and that was it. And I can tell you that that journey is a journey that has been a great blessing. I took up the passion again. I caught up the fire. I caught the fire again, and in less than 6 months or thereabouts, I took a number of certifications from Microsoft. I kept on learning. I just kept on learning everything. I just kept on learning everything on YouTube, on Microsoft Learn, and at some point, I got a free laptop from Axel Towns. For those of you that are very familiar with Twitter, and he just said, if you want a laptop, tell me why you need a laptop. I just told him everything I need. Put all my certificates and the CCNA training, the Microsoft certifications, all the learning. I just put it up. And the next morning, that was it. I got a laptop because I didn't have a laptop then. Yeah, I didn't have, okay, it was my wife's laptop, but it was faulty. So it wasn't doing so much. So I got a laptop. And And I began to ask myself, as a person, I'm a perfectionist. I like things being done in a very detailed way. So, through a particular personality test that was provided by one of the cybersecurity organizations, I can't remember which one now, I realized that the best place for me to work is in GRC. And interestingly, I just walked up with it. It was very easy for me. So it has been a smooth ride. And indeed, I would say that personality trait from that cybersecurity organization helped me streamline what I wanted, and it has been a very great journey. So that is who Davies is, someone who loves things to be done as it should be done, right? So being in cybersecurity, being a GRC personnel, it keeps on working with that personality trait, ensuring that everything is done as should be done. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for your sharing your story with us. I will move fast and quickly to Dami. Dami, can we meet you? And what about cybersecurity?
Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for this opportunity to share my story. I'm really glad to be doing this. And then I'll just, start and share. So for me, how I got into cybersecurity was it was from a young age, not cybersecurity from a young age, but, computing, right? So while I was in primary school slash junior secondary school, my mom got a laptop at home, and then she had Encounter Kids installed on it for us. And then she just told us, play with it, sit down with it and figure out how this thing works. And then, from that, I was like really intrigued with it. And
Okay, I think Dami's screen froze.
I think we lost that.
Yeah, Dami's screen froze. Okay. Let's see if she joins in a second. If she doesn't, we'll probably let me move to
hello,
okay.
can
Yeah,
anybody hear me? I'm
we
really
can
sorry,
hear
my
you.
network went
Yeah,
off.
understandable, no problem. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So as I was saying, and then I would play around with Encounter Kids, and then also Corel Draw, right? So those were the things that I was playing around with. And I was encouraged by my parents, my mom especially. She I would say she was the one that kind of lit that fire in me, that made me like want to sit down in front of a computer or a laptop per se and say, okay, I'm just going to play around with this thing and see how it works. So, that just continued on all through junior secondary school. And then by the time I was in SS1, SS2, SS3, yeah, by the time I got to senior secondary school, I realized that, okay, whatever I'm going to do, it would have to do with computers. And I was fortunate enough to have had computer teachers that actually like encouraged me. And like they saw that I had interest in it. I had one particular teacher that, when it was break time, I would go and stand by the door of the computer room. He already knows that once it's break time, it would just peep past the window, he already knows I'm standing there. And then it would actually let me into the computer room. And then, I would play around with the computer. As after a while, it started allowing me into the computer room by myself during break times. And he would tell me, oh, okay, take out the CPU. If he wants to replace something in it, it will come and call me that, oh yeah, Dami, let's go and replace this thing in the computer system. Let's go and do this. And, I was really grateful for that experience. And then, it was a no-brainer when I was feeling my jump from going to the university that I was going to study something computer related. And I ended up studying computer engineering at OAU. So it was in my first year of undergraduate studies that I actually like heard anything about cybersecurity or networking. It was just this discussion with some of my colleagues and some member of staff that were working in the IT unit. And then everybody was just discussing, oh, what area of computer do you want to go into? What area of computer are you interested in? And I'm like, what do you mean? What area of computer? Like, is it not computer that we're all here to study? And then, it was there that I started, oh, there's software engineering, there's design, there's networking. And I already knew that software engineering, I mean, they taught us some basic programming in secondary school. I understood it, I could do it, but I found that it took me a lot of time to actually like grasp the concept. If I was grasping the concept of every other thing in 20 minutes, when it came to programming, it would take me twice that amount of time. So I already knew that, okay, I would not lean towards programming. So what else is there? So I decided to check out networking. I checked out design. I already knew that it's not for me because I'm not a very arty person or somebody that, with design. So I was like, okay, let's check out networking. And then I found Cisco NetAcad, and I just went down the rabbit hole of Cisco NetAcad. I was doing all of the courses: cybersecurity essentials, introduction to cybersecurity, networking essentials, intro to networking, Linux, Python. I did any course that I could find on Cisco that was free. I was doing it. And as well, I was also searching online free courses in cybersecurity. Oh, there's a free course on cybersecurity. Best believe that if there's a free course on cybersecurity, I found it and I've done it. So when it came to like finding a niche in cybersecurity, I would say I played around a little bit because, there was in my class in uni, those of us that were like remotely doing anything regarding cybersecurity or networking, we were in the minority. And I mean minority. In fact, sometimes when people ask, oh, Dami, what do you do? And I say, oh, networking and cybersecurity, they'll be like, what is that? So we were very few that were doing it. And I think we were about 5 or 6 in my entire class. And I didn't even think that I had any senior colleagues. If I had, I didn't know about them that were doing cybersecurity. So for me, when it was time to niche down in cybersecurity, I was all over the place. I did penetration testing. I took courses on ethical hacking on Udemy. I even did Udacity courses on ethical hacking when I saw that, okay, now this involved some things that, it was taking me a lot of time to grasp the concept. And usually I tend to understand things very quickly, but I just found out that when it came to things that related to programming, it was taking me twice the amount that it would normally take me. So I was like, is this really something that I want to, pursue? And then I tried my hands on cloud security. I found out that I enjoyed cloud security. And, I was just going around moving from one niche of cybersecurity to another. And while in the process of that, I was lucky enough to be able to like find some internships and boot camps online. For instance, most security institutes, they had this security internship that they ran for women. So I was fortunate enough to get into that on the cybersecurity analyst part. And I found out that I really enjoyed some of those things. It also involves like, doing some coding work, but, and then I realized that all the other exercises and tasks involved, I was able to do those ones faster. But when it came to like the coding one, it took me twice the time. And then like when something doesn't work the way it should work, to sit down and now debug it, like it always gave me, it was a chore. Let me use that word. It was a chore for me to do that. And then, I should have taken the hint at that time, right? I know that, okay, you have to find something else that does not really involve heavy coding, because I could read it, I could understand it, but actually sitting down to write it myself was where the issue was, right? And then I guess I wanted to prove to myself that since I could read and understand it, I should not have a problem writing it. So I kept pursuing that particular niche of that had to do with coding. And then like when I entered a boot camp, they were like, oh, what do you want to do? I could have gone for cloud security. I could have gone for GRC. I still went the route of security support that had to do with SOC, Security Operations Center. And that one too, it involved like doing coding and all of those things, because, you have to be able to manage your applications and all of those things. And I enjoyed it. I mean, I could read it, I could understand it. When I finished the task, granted, it took me a long period of time, I found satisfaction in that, okay, yes, at least I can do this thing, but it was not giving me joy. There was no joy in it for me. And so that was kind of why, like I said, oh, I kind of flayed around a little bit. And while I was doing all of my learning with cybersecurity, because I wasn't earning any money and I didn't want to continue, asking my mom and dad for allowance, I was like, what can I do on the side to earn me money? So I got into project management. So I was doing 2 trainings at the same time with my undergraduate degree. I was doing cybersecurity and then I was also doing project management. So if there's a project management training or a product management training, I'm there. If there's a cybersecurity training, I'm there. So I was doing that at the same time. And I got my break first in project management before I got my break in cybersecurity. And I found that, okay, I enjoyed project management a lot. Like I enjoyed the whole planning process, getting to put requirements together, getting to, start something from the beginning and then see it to the end and see, wow, okay, this is something that came out of my hand. And then I also got into business development through that. And, eventually one day I sat with myself and I said, I need to get serious, right? I know that I love project management and I know that cybersecurity, I love it. It's my first love. I can't imagine like pursuing any career that does not involve cybersecurity. So I was like, how can I combine these two things that I have passion for? How can I combine these two things that I love? These are the things that give me joy. So how can I combine them? And then, I decided that, okay, now where I seem to thrive will be at the intersection of project management and cybersecurity. So what are the roles that, would combine those two skills? And, I found that it was cybersecurity coordinator, cybersecurity consultant, cybersecurity manager, that kind of thing. And then I needed project management skills. Then I needed GRC skills as well, and information security skills. Some would also ask you that, you have skills all across the different fields of cybersecurity. They want you to have cloud security skills. They want you to have vulnerability management skills. And I knew that, all of those things, I enjoyed them. Like I knew them, I had the skills. I just didn't want to like be tied down to those particular skills. Like, okay, this gives me a great opportunity, to actually learn across board and then bring all of my knowledge together and be able to use it to produce something. And so yeah, that's what I've been pursuing roles that are together in the intersection of project management and then cybersecurity. So with that, I was lucky enough to get a role that actually allowed me to do that. So I consulted for a company sometime last year and early this year about their cybersecurity program. We had to work on developing. They didn't have any cybersecurity program or anything related to cybersecurity in their company. So, having to like build up their cybersecurity from scratch, that gave me an opportunity to use my cybersecurity skills and my project management skills. And, it gave me, you could ask me for the money in my bank account during that period, which I didn't have, and I would have given it to you. And I realized that, okay, yeah, this actually like, it gives me joy. It makes me happy. I'm not saying it didn't come without its challenges or anything, but there are some challenges that you'll be happy that, okay, I am happy that I am having this challenge. And that was it for me. That was how I realized that, okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
All right. Thanks, David. I think I picked something, which is that you're just focus on your area of strength. There's no need, there's no need being a Superman in something that you're not very good at. And thank you for sharing your story. I'll come to Nabilat. Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, Nabilat, over to you.
I need to take that out.
Okay, I have.
All right.
I have. All right, please. Sorry for the break. Nabilat, over to you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Nabilat Bashir. I hold a BSc in biochemistry, and I currently work as a quality control analyst in a production company. My journey to cybersecurity began through the government scholarship, through the 3MTT program. But before then, what led to me choosing cybersecurity as my course? I was once a victim of phishing link. That time I clicked on a link that was through LinkedIn, and all my social media accounts were hacked. Everybody demanding money on my behalf. People started calling me and be like, what happened? So eventually I was logged out of my account, but I said, I can't lose this account, especially my LinkedIn. So as someone that, if I have any question, Google is my best teacher. So I started researching on Google, asking questions. I can now retrieve my account. Fortunately, I started with LinkedIn, and thank God there were a lot of policies and procedure they put in place. I was able to recover my LinkedIn account using forms of identification and others. So that aside, that didn't say, okay, I should start with cybersecurity. So I met my brother's friend. So I saw on his certification on LinkedIn that he has CEH. I was like, what is the full meaning of CEH? He says certified ethnical hacker. I used to hear about hacker, but I've never heard about anything like certified ethical hacker. So when the MTT program came, I chose cybersecurity. I said, let me start with my cybersecurity journey. And when I started my cybersecurity journey, I started learning, starting from our theory classes and our practical classes. I said, no, I want more. And thank God for the community that we had there. We had a group chat for cybersecurity fellows from different states, and there were some that were already experienced in that field. I was coming from a non-technical background. I studied biochemistry. So I reached out to one of them that, okay, I'm kind of lost and confused. I don't know where to continue from. Like, I was overwhelmed because when I see this course, I will save it. I want to study because I was new. So the person told me, take your time, find the niche. Which domain suits you best? There are different domains. Then start working on that part. So I list and focus on your foundational courses. And he asked me to follow Dr. Eriti on Xspace. So immediately I went to our Xspace, check her pin tweets, and I started working towards my cybersecurity training. Anytime I see bootcamp, internship, I apply for it. I say I will learn from that. So after applying for those internship programs, so the 3MTT program came to an end. I started my own online courses using Cisco. So I started learning at my pace. Okay, I need to focus on my foundational skills, which is very important. So I started working on that and improving myself. Then the reason why I chose the GRC domain is I've been working as a quality control analyst in a production company. My job is to ensure compliance with whatever they are producing, whatever goods we are producing. It has to be in line with what NAFDAC asks us to do and the SON. I work in a rice mill. So I'm like, okay, I have these transferable skills to GRC because I make research on the different domain and look for the one that suits me best. So I decided to pick the GRC domain and say, okay, I have transferable skills that will help me to thrive in the GRC domain. The pen testing domain, ethical hacking, and other domain are like, I'm not really good with that, coming from a non-tech background, but reading policy and making research, okay, I think I find my niche. So that's how my journey to cybersecurity began. And currently, I'm doing my GRC training at GRC Africa.
We'll come to that. Yeah, thank you, Nabila. I think I liked that word you used, which is transferable skills. For people who are not in cybersecurity right now and are planning to come into cybersecurity, I think you need to look at really the skills or the areas that align with the skills you already have. And I think Dami also spoke about it. What you are most interested in, there is likely that area in cybersecurity. And Nabila just mentioned now transferable skills and quality control already is about compliance to something, and that field exists in cybersecurity. I think I will go straight ahead to Nabila back. And also because of time, I'm looking at my time and there's so much to talk about, but I want to see if you can just summarize your point within 2 minutes, right? And what I want to find out from Nabila, so I'll go from Nabila to Dami, then go back to Solomon, is that what steps are you taking? What step are you taking currently to develop yourself? You've been able to come into the field, maybe taking some foundational courses. What exactly are you doing now to deepen your knowledge about cyber or the particular domain that you have chosen? Just in 1 or 2 minutes, Nabila.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the question. So just like I said, I picked the GRC domain, and currently I'm doing my internship program at GRC Africa, where they expose us to different parts in GRC. So this aligns with the domain I'm working on, because the internship will offer me hands-on experience, learn from tutors who are experienced in the field, and as well prepare for certification. Because after my internship program, after I've gained the necessary knowledge, I'll prepare for certifications, and then which will enable me to thrive in the field. So that is what I'm currently working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabilat. I will go to Dami. So what are you doing currently to develop yourself in the field?
All right. So currently, I'm pursuing a master's degree in applied cybersecurity. And the reason for pursuing a master's degree is that because of the kind of roles that I'm after, I feel that a master's is the right, step to take, is the right investment to make because, when I say I want to do consultancy, when I say I want to manage cybersecurity programs, I need to be able to have these skills that a master's program would, offer to me. And then also, there's this daily cybersecurity program that I listen to. It's available on LinkedIn and on YouTube. It's by 1 p.m. Nigerian time, Gerald Oja. So every day he talks about the latest cybersecurity trends that are happening. He does it every day. I also listen to cybersecurity podcasts. I read people's blogs on cybersecurity. And basically I read every and anything that I can find on cybersecurity. So in a day, I make sure that I read something about cybersecurity or I listen to something about cybersecurity. And I'm still taking online courses that I find on cybersecurity just to make sure that, I'm updated on my knowledge and I am staying ahead.
Thank you. If you don't mind, you can help us type some of the resources you mentioned so that people can also add that to their resource. And let me go to Dave. In 2 minutes, can you let us know what you're doing currently to develop yourself? You are already in cyber, you've already chosen an area. What are the developmental path or opportunities that you are pursuing right now?
All right. Can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the question, Mr. Wale. Primarily for me, I believe strongly in reinforcing learning to reinforce knowledge. You reinforce learning, and as you're reinforcing learning, you're also reinforcing knowledge. I've always been an instructor. Like I said, I did IT. I love computers, so I used that opportunity to teach everyone around me computers. High school student, tertiary, those in tertiary institution, and all of that. So when I got into the cybersecurity journey, I stuck with GLC. And as I progressed, like I said, I had contact with Dr. Ireti, and that gave me an opportunity to serve in cyber. Of course, I was an intern there, and once I was done with my internship, I decided to pull back all what I've learned, and that is what I keep on doing. I provide knowledge, and that is what I do. A lot of things. I read, just like Damdala mentioned just now. I also read from Olga. I read everything I want cybersecurity. Of course, I work in a financial institution, and because of that, I need to be updated. But the major thing I consider the bold step in GRC for me is in pouring back everything I've learned, helping people at CyberBlack and at GRC Africa, mentoring them and guiding them in what they're coming into. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. I will go to Temi Tokwe. Can we?
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so in my boot camp, we are exposed to a lot of trainings, which we have to take weekly, and that has really helped me a lot. But I also do a lot of personal study, and which has also been helpful. Also taking, some certifications, especially the ISO2 certified in cybersecurity certification, which is free for anyone who may be interested. I also started a YouTube channel where I teach the basis of cybersecurity. And one of the things that I've done to develop myself so far that I think is very important is that I analyze cybersecurity incidents. It's one of my favorite pastimes. So I just analyzed it. How did it happen? What were the threats? What were the vulnerabilities? So that has been very helpful. I also listened to a particular cybersecurity podcast. Is more of business and cybersecurity, which has my interest. It's called Brass Tracks. So it's a Fortinet podcast, which talks about the business implications of cybersecurity for decision makers. So that has been it for me so far. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Temitope. If you don't mind, please help drop the podcast or any of the resources that you've mentioned. We'll be glad to share with everyone. Okay. Solomon, for this round of question, can you tell us what are you currently doing, an opportunity for development or growth? Okay, Solomon, if you are speaking, I can't hear you. All right, I think I need to move to the next person and the last set of questions. When Solomon joins. Oh, Solomon, it appears you're.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
All right. So for me personally, what I do that's to.
Can you project your voice a little? You've gone again.
Okay. Can you hear me? Is
Yes,
it
better.
I think so. So for me personally, one of the things that always get to put me on the right track is continuous learning. And how do you get continuous learning? You actually doing the job. And one of those ways is through internship. So currently, due to my job role, I've not really had time to do so much internship as I used to do before. But one of those ways is through internship, because when after I left school, one of the things I did was internship. I was always like every month, I made sure I was in this internship. Even this internship, I was really registering for a boot camp and things like that. Another way also is through writing. That's one of the most underrated skills that people look down on, writing. Because anything that as far as you can't put it down in writing, I believe you've not really mastered it. So anything that put it up on a LinkedIn page or your Twitter space, just put something there. And you see that when you're writing those things down, you see that, okay, I actually have not really understood this concept. And you have to go back, read more about it. And then when you're putting out your content, everybody gets to, because whenever you're writing anything, I always put it out in a way that, okay, if somebody that has never heard about this thing before is reading about it, he should at least, at barest minimum, be able to tell somebody about what I've just read from this article. So it's just about writing and also putting your hands into it.
Thank you.
Getting yourself involved.
Thanks, Solomon. I think I'll stay with you, and I like that thoughts around you writing, because for you to be able to write, it means that you have done some reading and you are now trying to explain things in your own way. And I like that also Temitope has a YouTube page where she's learning as well as teaching. And Dami also mentioned something where she's also on Ashnode where she writes. And I think Dave also teaches. I think those opportunities, they give you some kind of means to reinforce what you learn. Now, when you put yourself in the position of a teacher, you know that you're going to be imparting knowledge, and therefore you need to understand it first. Our last set of questions is, now, I want Solomon to assume the position of an expert who is talking to people who are trying to get into cyber or who are in the early days of their journey in cyber. What are the development opportunities? What can you say to advise them on this journey? If you can do that in 2 minutes, I'll be grateful. Okay, you are muted. You're muted.
All right.
Excellent.
Sorry. I'll just say 2 minutes is possible. We'll try to see how
try because of time.
Yeah, we churn out those information. So for me, I feel like I said earlier, one of the best way to do it is just by you. It's not by you. You can read a whole lot, you can write those information, but if you do not practice, I tell you, come back 2 weeks time, you'll forget everything you've read, you forget everything. So one way I encourage people, as much as possible as you're reading, try to implement what you've read. And also, we cannot understate the fact of certifications. You have to just take them because at some point, definitely they are going to ask for it. It's going to be a proof of what you have to show. And so you have to just get those certifications and also practice, everyday practice. Make sure that in a week, you set out time to practice. In a month, you should be able to say that, okay, I've done this amount of certification. Like personally for me, that's what I do. In a quarter, is I have already the number of certifications I want to take. I do nothing less than 3, 4 in a quarter, and in a month, I make sure that I do at least 1. So that's something you can just do. Doing it every day, every week, and definitely the sky is the limit for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Solomon. Thank you for sharing that. I will go straight to Temitope. Temitope, so assume that position and give your expert thoughts to people who are on that journey, starting that journey. What should they be doing?
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So the first thing I would say is identify your interests and pick a focus, because cybersecurity is quite broad and you can be in a lot. While it's good, you can start with learning, a little bit of everything to find what you like. Eventually you might need to, niche down to what you really want to do, which will help you. Another thing that I would like to say is don't joke with the basics. Please don't joke with the basics. That's what I always tell myself. Do not joke with the foundation. It's like building a house. If you don't make the foundation well, the house will crumble. So you need that foundation. The more I get into GRC, learn GRC, I realize how much that foundation is very, very important, because you continue to see these things come up and you will be able to connect them. Also, get certifications, free ones. If money is an issue, you can get the free ones, which is the ISC2 certified in cybersecurity. And one thing Mr. Wale used to say, we had said recently that really stuck with me. If you don't have the money now, you can take the training. Many of these certifications, some of their trainings are available on Udemy, on YouTube, that we can also learn from. Also, don't joke with LinkedIn. Network on LinkedIn, network with professionals, people that are higher than you, network with your peers, put yourself out there, document your journey, let people know what you're doing. That has really helped me. Document your journey, let people know what you're learning. Also, practice what you learn. Practice what you learn. I know for people in GRC, they may be like, oh, how do I practice what I'm learning? It's majorly theory. That you can use past cybersecurity incidents, start analyzing it and start using that to practice why you get an internship or a job to do the main, practical. Also, teach others. Teach others. The more you teach others, you can start a YouTube channel like me, or you can start posting stuff, teaching others on Medium, Twitter, LinkedIn, some of those outlets. And that's it for me. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. And so this is a challenge to at least everyone that is on the call, especially our speakers. Please, we have a LinkedIn page. It's a safe place for you to share. As you read, we need more people to share what they are learning so that others can learn along and assume that position of experts. I always believe that if you know something and you don't let it out, you can't learn new things. So create room for new information to come in. Now you can do that by sharing what you already know. Let me go to Dave to share his thoughts as an expert, guiding people on their journey in cyber. What are your parting thoughts?
Okay, so excuse me. Parting thought, if I'm going to guide anybody, that's what I keep on doing for those who reach out to me. Majorly, I will highlight 6 things. Number one, God. God is very important. I don't know how to say, but you need to speak to your creator, right? Number two, go in the line of your passion. What do you love doing? What is that thing that you don't need to put too much of effort to get done? You go in that line of your passion. For me, I love computers. I love IT. I studied it, right? But uh, it's broad, right? So I narrowed it down to taking a personality test. And that is why I didn't play around too much. Of course, I know a little of everything, but I was able to narrow it down to my passion. So first, God. Second, go in the line of your passion. Number three, seek a mentor. Look for someone that will guide you. A mentor will shorten your journey. That is what helped me. I came in contact with Dr. Ireti. I came in contact with Axel Tan, and I can tell you, right, those two contacts, that was it. So seek for a mentor. Number four, leverage free certifications. Certifications are very expensive. It's no news. We already know that. But I leveraged Microsoft. Microsoft was giving me free certification. So OneTrust was giving me free certification. Every certification, I was just taking them, right? But I didn't just take everything. I don't have certification in penetration testing. No. I narrowed it down to Microsoft, everything around security. I narrowed it down to privacy, everything on OneTrust. So get free certifications. Number five, share your progress. Share your progress, share it within your network, share it if you don't want, if you are somebody that you're too shy, I'm that kind of a person, right? I don't necessarily put what I do online, right? But share it within your network. Now you can also now share it in another way, which is which is the final point. Put your foot forward. This is how I shared my progress. I did cold emailing. I reached out to partners in consulting firms, and I was able to get my foot forward in one of the big fours in Nigeria. Yeah, I messed up the interview, but it was a learning point. But in less than few days or few weeks, one of the big fours reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. Then I moved on from there. I had another alternative. I put up my foot forward again into a financial institution. Remember, yes, I was working. I was already in IT. I was an instructor, but had transitioned. But I didn't wait. I kept on pushing my foot forward. So God, number one, you go in the line of your passion, seek a mentor, leverage free certifications, share your progress, and put your foot forward.
Thank you. Thanks for those thoughts. I will go next to Dami. Dami, tell us, as an expert.
So yeah, thank you, sir. So I think the first thing that I would say is don't be discouraged. Cybersecurity can be quite a lonely journey, especially because it's something that it's a booming thing now. But before now, it wasn't something that was as popular as it is now. So I mean, when I started, it was not this big thing that everybody is now like looking into. So don't be discouraged. You might see your colleagues in other specializations in computer, those doing software engineering, those doing design, that after one or two internships, they already have jobs that are paying them huge salaries, and while you're still struggling to even land something or finish this bootcamp. So I'll definitely say don't be discouraged. Remember why you started in the first place, and just keep at it, and eventually you would make headway. And then a lot of the other things I would say are the things that the other speakers have said, which is learn continuously, pursue knowledge. Cybersecurity is a constantly evolving field, and you cannot know it all. You think you've known everything today, by tomorrow there's something new out there that you have no idea where it even came from. So pursue knowledge. Another thing that it also said that I will also mention again is that you should network with people, network with your peers, network with your colleagues, and not just in cybersecurity, in other fields as well. So for some of the roles that I've gotten, it was because somebody, they needed the services of a cybersecurity person, and this person said, "Oh, I know somebody in cybersecurity," and then they recommended me for those roles. So while it's good to network with people in cybersecurity, please don't just limit it to cybersecurity. Network with people outside of cybersecurity, because the day they need the services of a cybersecurity person for their business or in their company, your name comes to mind, and then they can mention your name. And then another thing that I would say is decide on your niche and lock in. Like, so you don't have to, like me now, like I said earlier, I flailed around a little bit. I did a little bit of everything here and there before I now finally, logged in on my particular niche. And it doesn't have to be one niche. You can decide that you want to do DevSecOps and you want to do GRC. You just have to find a way where you can combine those skills and those services. And the beautiful thing about cybersecurity is that the need for it will definitely come up one day, and then you'll be able to say, oh, I can do this. And the most important thing is that know your onions, know what you are doing. Don't say you can do this and do that, and then when they now present, oh yeah, come and do this thing that you've said, and then you cannot now deliver on what you said you can do. Another thing, just like Dave said, is to take advantage of free resources. That was what I did, and it helped me a lot. All of the certification exams that I've ever done, I haven't paid a dime for any of it, because I am always on the hunt. I'm looking for where are they giving out free vouchers, which course can I take that at the end of the course I'll be able to take their certification exams for free. So those were the things that I did. And then last but not least, market yourself. Like Dave said, that for shy people, I was also one of those. I would say, well, I'm evolving, but I'm typically a shy person. I used to be like, my work will speak for me. Yes, your work will speak for you, but first you have to speak about that work that you are doing. Let people know what you are doing before that work can now start speaking for you. Because if you don't tell anybody that this is what you are doing, there is no way that they will now even be interested to look into the work and then, let the work speak for you when you're not speaking for yourself. So please market yourself if it is through writing. That is why I write, because I don't think that I want to be doing videos and all of those things. If it is through writing, do that. If it is through, like graphics to share your knowledge, definitely do that. And please, like, it's very important to carry your market on your head, please. Right now, I think is one of like the building blocks. If you don't, market yourself, carry your market on your head. Now that if you do that work and lay that foundation, 10-15 years to come, you don't need to do that again. It's people that will be marketing you, and then you're the one that even say, please, is enough, calm down. So those are the things that I would say you should definitely do.
Thank you. I like that you're closing. Carry your market on your head. Let me go to Nabila, the last but not the least. Nabila, what are your thoughts around what can people do? And please also, before Nabila speaks, if you don't mind, Davi says she shops for certifications, and it will be good if you can just share in the chat for people that may want to just go dive in straight. So Nabila, over to you.
Okay. Once again, hello everyone.
Yeah.
So concerning the advice, the first thing I usually tell anyone that comes to me that wants to learn cybersecurity, you don't have to have an IT background. I came from a biochemistry background and I'm still learning cybersecurity. So you can learn it. Believe in yourself. Another thing is, in as much as your technical skills, you have to improve on your soft skills. Most people take that for granted, like, okay, I'm good with this, but what are your soft skills? How can you communicate your value? What are the things you are doing to improve your soft skills? And just like the other speaker have said, your foundational skills is very important. Your foundational basics, don't joke with it. Irrespective of the domain you are going to, your foundational skill or knowledge, you always refer to it. And AI is evolving now. What are the things you are doing to evolve with that? These threat attackers, they are becoming smart and smart every day. And with the use of AI, don't be stuck in the old ways. Be creative in your way. And another thing is believe in yourself. People say, oh, you cannot do it. Cybersecurity is hard. It's not for the weak. Believe in yourself. So that's my ending. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. I knew that this session is going to be very, very engaging. Thanks for sharing. I when Dami was talking about, was it Dami or I think it was Dami, don't be discouraged. When I was starting out, I think it was 2006 or so when I wrote CCNA, and I was trying to find which area I should go into. So I'd done networking when I was in school, and I wrote CCNA. And when I started looking at it, so the usual thing I've seen a lot of people do is from CCNA, they write CCNP. but I thought it was there are too many people on that path. And I was looking for a path where a lot of people are not there, but it's something that I would love. And that's how I got into security. And someone told me, I think we wrote CCNA at that time together. So he was saying that, I think 2007 or 7 or 6 or so. So he was saying that, well, if you go into cybersecurity, you won't get a job. Nobody will hire you. Because really, what's CCSP? So I did CCSP. That's the journey from CCNA. Then you go into the journey to CCSP instead of CCNA, about 4 exams or so. But I told him that, well, it's not really about job because I have a job already, but I'm actually interested in that security aspect of this technology. And that's how I got started. So follow something that you love to do, something that will tap into your strength, right? Don't do what everybody is doing because you can get drowned in those areas. Don't follow what is, in quotes, reigning, what is fashionable. Follow something that is deep down in you and pursue it, commit to it, spend time on it, and engage people. Thank you for sharing your story, Solomon, Temitope, Dave, Damilola, and Nabila. And I believe that people have picked 1 or 2 things that I have picked. I've jotted things down that I'll go and check out, especially the daily cybersecurity news and analysis. And thanks so much. The challenge I'm putting before everyone of you that spoke is, please let our LinkedIn page, let it bubble with your notes. Even if it is something you have written before, just copy it and put it there. Let us read. We would like to share your thoughts. So we don't have question. I will just wrap up because of our time. And so our next edition is going to be 9th of November. Yeah. So we have our speaker already set up for November. In November, we're dealing with dark web, and also we're dealing with GRC. So we've gotten someone who's an expert in GRC. And one of the things we want to do is to break down the respective areas of cybersecurity. So we're getting our first person to come and speak to us about GRC. And we'll start the comms by next week. And I hope that you will join us then too. Check our LinkedIn page. We have a LinkedIn page. We have over 300 members now. We started it just about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we've gotten that far. We've gotten a badge because we are active, and we need more people to share. Like is good, reposting is good, but commenting, sharing thoughts is what creates activity. So please, if you have articles somewhere, please bring it to the page. Let's drive traffic to your own page by sharing things in the group chat so that we can grow the page. Our publications, we're working on it, and it will be out. Like I mentioned earlier, maybe in the next 2 weeks, I'll be announcing for the new set of researcher that I need. So we want to create some kind of a one-pager that will allow you to be able to know the courses or the certifications or the topics you should go study if you are interested in a particular area in cyber. So I'll put up that information in our either in our WhatsApp page. I try to use our WhatsApp page first before we go online. As we get volunteer, we just close that gap out. Thank you, and I think we are done for today. I will see you again on the 9th of November, where we'll be welcoming someone to talk to about this dark web. And do have I need to announce something because of some time. So we are going to be using it will still be 7 p.m., but you will see that the time will change. We'll be using 6 p.m., but it's still 7 p.m. But it's 6 p.m. My time, so it will be 7 p.m. your time. So just take note of that. It's still the same time your time, but it's just by the time it's changing. So I have to reflect that in the next publication. I'll see you again, and I wish you a very, very good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
You. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.